What is up, guys? It's your boy, the Edge of Cactus, and today, Bungie just concluded their brand new Edge of Fate developer livestream, showcasing a ton of information about the next upcoming Destiny 2 expansion. So in this video, we're going to be recapping everything that was shared, so you know exactly what is coming. And so, let's get started. Now, first off, guys, I have to mention that a lot of the topics Bungie covered today, new exotics, the tiering system, Armor 3.0, the stat rework, I've done full videos on weeks ago. And that's because I was able to play the Edge of Fate early, and again, I put out videos on all of the main changes coming to Destiny 2. So if you're someone who has watched those videos, not too much was new for you today. However, I'm still going to recap it for those who didn't, and when we're on one of those topics, I'll link my videos, and if you click off on those, they'll offer a much more detailed explanation of a lot of these changes than what was shared in today's live stream. So, as for the live stream, the first thing Bungie revealed was this new Vidoc about the new Kepler destination. So they're showing off the new mechanics, stuff like Matter Ball, stuff like the Relocator Cannon that you use to solve puzzles on this new destination. This was something that we encountered a ton when playing the Edge of Fate, and often you're going to have to use multiple of these mechanics together to solve a puzzle. So you have to Matter Ball to a secret location to unlock the Relocator Cannon, to then unlock another Matter Ball. Like, you just chain these mechanics. They also showed, as you can see right here, that there's actually going to be upgrades for these mechanics. So you can get more improved Matter Spark. Sorry, not Matter Ball, Matter Spark. You can improve your Relocator Cannon and so on, guys. So as you are progressing in the campaign, you're unlocking these secrets. You're also improving these abilities to potentially get to greater and more complicated secrets as well. So that is pretty cool. Now, the next thing we see in the live stream is gameplay of the new firing range. This is a testing playground, and it was originally going to come in the Arms Week event, but it's now going to come with the launch of the Edge of Fate. So you can just go there and literally test DPS of weapons, abilities, combos, etc. This is going to be fantastic for making videos and settling debates about what actually does the most damage. But after that, guys, Bungie then shows off the stat rework. So, stats are changing dramatically in the Edge of Fate. Instead of having to get to multiples of 10, every single stat point is going to matter. You can also go above 100 all the way to 200, with above and below 100 of a stat offering different bonuses. For example, if you have 0 to 100 melee stat, your melee recharges quicker, and then above 100 to 200, your melee will do more damage. On screen right now, I'm just going to put the exhaustive list of exactly all of the kind of reworked and new stats and exactly what they do before and after 100, guys. We covered this in a different video. On top of that, some stats are changing. Resilience is becoming health, mobility is becoming weapons, and recovery is turning into class. Now, what Bungie then showed off on stream is something a bit new. As you can see right here, they actually showcase some fragments, some solar fragments with reworked stats. So they said on stream that some of the stats are changing for certain fragments, so if they offered plus 10 resilience, obviously that might change, but they've also gone and reworked certain fragments to then have them give bonuses to stats that they maybe didn't before. So definitely worth checking in on your builds and on what fragments you might think are good and reassessing them after those stat changes in the Edge of Fate. That's something new that we did learn. Now, moving on from there, Bungie takes some time to showcase all 3 of the new exotic armor pieces that are coming in the Edge of Fate. Again, I did a full video not only breaking down these 3 exotic armor pieces, but breaking down the 2 new exotic weapons coming as well that Bungie did not show off in this live stream. That's linked right up above. But to go over it quickly here, the Warlock exotic gauntlets will improve your Hellion. It'll now split apart and do more Scorch. Then the Hunter exotic chest piece will make it so that if you throw your threaded spike melee at a tangle, it will cause it to detonate, and then if you catch your threaded spike, you will gain a tangle that you can then throw. So combine that with the whirling maelstrom aspect, and you can cause a lot of different tangle detonations. Now, after that, for the Titans, they get a new exotic gauntlet that will let you retrieve your hammer after picking up a fire sprite. So you can literally become Thor and recall your hammer. Very cool. Now, moving on from there, guys, Bungie dives into Armor 3.0. So they showcase this armor set here and the 2 different set bonuses you're going to get. This is actually the Kepler armor set, and essentially if you use rockets or grenade launchers, you give yourself like the amplified speed bonus, and then you can also, if you get crowd controlled, break out of that and start going faster with that speed bonus for the 4-piece. Now guys, again, did a full video on Armor 3.0, and I actually showed off a bunch of different armor sets and their bonuses that were not shown in this live stream. Like the Crucible 4-piece bonus is nuts. That is linked right up above. But another thing Bungie did was hover over the tier of this piece of armor. This is a tier 5, and it showcased the different ranges of stats you get for getting higher and higher tiers of armor. So at tier 5, you're guaranteed to have 75 stats, and you also get stat tuning, which is a special mod that will let you mess around with the stats even more. It's kind of like a reworked Artifice armor mod slot. Now, they didn't really go over this in the live stream, but again, that video I made on Armor 3.0 covers it fully. But after that, guys, the next thing they talk about is cool new weapons. And this was something that we did not see before that Bungie showcased in this live stream, and that is a brand new heavy crossbow. That's right, this is a new weapon type, so this is just a legendary weapon they're showcasing, and it will be in your heavy slot. It shoots a massive like arrow bolt, and then you can go and pick it up and you get the ammo back. So they were saying technically it has infinite ammo. Like, as long as you actually go to where you shot and pick it up, you can keep chaining and chaining and chaining, and it will never run out. Additionally, it doesn't have a magazine, right? So it has access to some cool new perks. They were saying you can get explosive arrows for this. They had one that was a bladed arrow, where when you retrieve it from an enemy, it will do damage to the enemy as you like take it out of them and stuff like that. Now, to be honest, in the gameplay they showed, the damage didn't look super impressive, but again, it technically has infinite ammo, and it's always exciting to get a new weapon type in the game. But this is counted as a bow, so it should benefit from anti-champion bow mods and stuff like that. So you really can now go ham with an all-bow build. But after that, Bungie then goes over the 3 new weapon archetypes also coming in the Edge of Fate. So we have a rocket pulse rifle, we have a shotgun hand cannon hybrid, and we have a heavy drawing, bigger damaging bow archetype as well. Now these I did get to see, so I have a full video covering all 3 of these new archetypes in detail and going over all over 20 legendary weapons I saw during my time playing the Edge of Fate. So we have a ton of new weapon perks showcased in that video as well. Definitely one you should check out. But yeah, these 3 archetypes look very cool, especially the rocket pulse rifle. Like, if you think rocket sidearms are good, you're gonna love the rocket pulse rifle. Also, the shotgun hand cannon, well, it's an infinite ammo primary, and it can get 1-2 punch. So melee builds could go ham with an infinite ammo 1-2 punch generator, right? But after that, guys, Bungie then hovers over all of the different tiers you get for weapons. So you can see right here the differences between tier 1, tier 2, all the way to tier 5, and then they spend some time going over like all the different tier 5 benefits and so on. Once again, your boy has a full video going over all of these different tiers linked right up above. I actually got a dev to generate me 5 of the same weapon in the 5 different tiers, so you can just really clearly visually see every single difference. So again, check that out if you want to. And note that at tier 5, not only are you going to get benefits to your gameplay with everything being enhanced, getting 3 perks per column to better get the god roll, but you also have upgrades to cosmetics. They come with an ornament. They also have a new cosmetic slot for on-kill effects, so like sweaty confetti will go here, as well as what the new tier 5 version of this is, so that's pretty cool. And also they spend some time kind of talking about weapons and what you should delete, and they said on their stream, which is something I'm going to echo, don't delete everything. Yes, in the future, guys, your stuff will be power crept. A tier 5 weapon is just outright better than anything you can get in the game right now. But a god roll Tenacious Mastery is still insane. Unless there is a tier 5 Stasis Rocket Sidearm with the exact same roll that Tenacious Mastery can get, you might not be replacing it. But something that may make you replace your currently used favorite weapons is another thing they went over during the live stream, and that is the new gear bonuses. So, as you guys can see right here, you're going to get bonuses to damage resistance as well as weapon damage bonuses for using the new armor and weapons. So, you can actually see in the background gameplay, the person like mess around with this, right? They take away a certain armor piece and the damage resistance bonus goes down. They change their weapon and the damage bonus they get goes down, because these bonuses, they don't just want you to put on new stuff, they do depend on the tier. So for example, if you're using a tier 1 primary here in the kinetic slot, you can see they put on the tier 1 rocket sidearm. It's only a 2% kinetic weapon damage bonus. But if they have a tier 5, it goes all the way to 10%. Now, 10% additional damage is pretty big. This is probably one of the most controversial features of the Edge of Fate. A lot of people have called this soft sunsetting because it's kind of forcing you to use new stuff. However, again, it is going to take quite a while, potentially months, before you start getting consistent tier 5s that have the rolls you want. So, is it going to be worth like switching to a new weapon that gives you 10% more damage but not having the god roll that maybe would give you more damage? This is going to be something we're going to have to discover together in the Edge of Fate, but definitely a massive, massive change. But what they also showcase in this stream that is new here, guys, is they went into the collections tab, into the exotics, and as you can see, there's a whole new section called featured. Now, what is this? Well, as you can see, every single featured exotic, both for weapons and armor, has that like teal icon, and this means it counts as new gear. So the Graviton Lance is featured. Even though it came out with Destiny 2 launch, it will get the new gear bonus from the artifact. And they're doing this so that you're not forced to like completely abandon certain builds, and you have a bit more variety in terms of exotics, especially because they're not adding as many new exotics as they are other legendary weapons and armor, right? So again, this is going to influence the meta quite a bit, especially exotics. We have some absolutely cracked exotics like the Choir of One, and again, Graviton Lance, and so on. So you are going to get damage bonuses for using those featured exotics and get damage resistance bonuses for using the featured exotic armor pieces, guys. And then Bungie went over a bunch of the brand new seasonal artifact perks. There's some crazy ones. The one I want to point out, Radiant Shrapnel, where dealing sustained weapon damage while radiant will cause scorching solar projectiles to spawn and stuff like that. So this could go crazy next season. And once again, your boy actually has a video going over every single seasonal artifact perk in the implement of Curiosity that you're seeing on screen right now. Bungie didn't go over all of them. I do in the video linked right up above, guys. But yeah, Solar, Strand, and Stasis are the featured elements next season. And that is actually going to be it. Bungie concludes after that, guys. So definitely, like, if you're someone who, didn't watch any of those previous videos, you're coming to the stream going, oh my gosh, like, armor is completely different, stats are completely different, there's a tiering system that makes weapons different, there's new exotics, like so much stuff is changing. That is crazy, right? But again, if you're someone who's really on it with the Destiny 2 news, there isn't too much new that was revealed today other than that new heavy crossbow weapon type. That is looking super cool. Again, maybe they might need to mess with the damage. Maybe it was just not good gameplay or the person wasn't getting headshots or whatever. But yeah, being able to retrieve your heavy ammo seems kind of insane. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.